they would be able to join us soon or can watch the video. Anyway, folks, this particular presentation is about the demo class. And this demo class is about software testing and business analyst course. And I'll talk about why you want to choose that as a career, or why you want to take this as a training. And I'll talk a little bit about training. And Venkat is going to talk about the course itself as well. And we'll talk about what it is. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Tahir Kazmi, but you guys know me as Kaz. I send out the invitation about the class. And I basically have about 30 years of experience in IT. I have a bachelor's degree in computer and electronics engineering. And I've been doing this for a while. Done from the technology side, I've moved into management. And I have basically started a lot of new groups, hired a lot of people. And I've seen how the interview process goes. I've also seen what skills are needed in the market and industry that are required to do a good job. I've also figured out what it takes to do a good interview and how you get your foot in the door. Sometimes not the best candidates get hired, and people who interview the best get hired. So basically, I'll teach you that skills as well. So you have that under your belt. I'll pass it to Mr. Venkat. He is going to be teaching the course, and I'll ask him to talk about himself and why he's teaching the course.
Good morning, everyone. And my name is Venkat, and I have like 16 years of IT experience. I have my master's in computer science. And I've been teaching this course from past 3 years. And a lot of students like who took our classes, they got a good jobs in the IT, and they moved to a higher career. And so I'll be the instructor for this course, and so we'll be covering the manual testing and automation testing, and then if you would like to have anything about the business analysis, like we'll be talking about the business analysis. We'll be integrating that into this course.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Venkat. Why we do what we do. I think in the industry, I've been here for quite some time, and I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And I've learned a lot of skills along the way to help people get a better job and learn good skills and be able to move up in the salary and career. So I do a lot of career counseling as well. So decided to encapsulate all the things that I kind of know in how to enhance your career, how to make it better, how to move from non-IT to IT, putting it together in this course and helping people make a transition from probably a lower paying job to a much better paying job. Now, IT industry is really hot. There are a lot of opportunities in this space for the people with the right skill set. My goal is to be able to teach you the right skill set for you so you can have a better career. And also, just to make it interesting, by the end of this presentation, hold me accountable, I'll show you how to guarantee winning a lottery ticket. Does that interest anybody?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Fantastic. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, in this course.
Quick question. I'm jumping on a 5-minute call with someone. So if I go on hold, I'll be back.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you giving me a heads up on that. Thank you. Okay, I'll talk about the easy entry into the computer field. And this is a gateway how you can enter more easily. What are the future potentials for this job? Potential for income, quality of life, and the bright future you would have with the skill sets. And I'll tell you how to go about doing that. You know, there are a lot of courses out there you hear about. There's a lot of noise. You know, data science is hot, developer is hot, cybersecurity is good, mobile engineering, cloud engineering, Java, Python programming. So there's a lot of noise about different kind of training programs out there. Now I can tell you that most of them require IT degree, a computer science degree, or basically extensive amount of background in that space for you to be able to get a job in that field. But I have found that for the software testing MBA, it doesn't require all of that. And it's easier to get into the field. And it's hot. There's a huge demand for it. And besides, it's not one of those things that will come and go like the big trends, like data analytics, Bitcoins. Some of those things basically are hypes at times, that they're high at one time and low at another time. I'll show you why this is not. Basically, this is a natural progression and how things are moving from one space to another. As you have seen, a lot of the physical stores are disappearing. Kmart, Sears, border bookstores, they've all disappeared. They've basically gone out of business as a storefront. And a lot of the banks have gone out too, and they're becoming mostly online. So once you're online, you need people to develop the code, to put up a website, develop the application, put them online, and you also need people who would test them to make sure they're testing properly. Now, as a developer, you basically need an extensive background in developing code. You generally need a college degree in computer science and engineering as well. However, for the testers who are testing the product that the developers are developing it, they do not require same level of scrutiny as you're entering the job field. They want people to have certain skills. If they have that skills and they can prove it during the interview and they can demonstrate it in the job, they generally are pretty secure. They get hired at the job and they have salaries that are fairly comparable with some of the other people in IT. And as a need and demands increase to have more online development, online presence, the need for those jobs increase as well. And this is not something which is going to last 1 to 2 years. When we started the class, about 3.5 years ago, we were looking for software testing people, jobs in the market in Washington, DC area. And now that when I look for them, there are a lot more openings in that space than we did about 3 years ago. So that tells me the trend is on the upswing and there's more and more demand for the people. And there just aren't enough people with the right skill set to fill those positions. And I'm going to help you get there. And Mr. Venkat is going to teach you the skills. Now the trend is up and up. And I also talked about the development jobs. You need a lot of computer science degree and skills to be a programmer, but software tester is easy to get in. Now, there's another side to software development. At one time, it may have people who know C, C++. Right now, they need more people who can do Python. And the salaries of people who knew C++ kind of drops, where the software testing people, they use similar tools. The skill sets continue to increase over the years, and they basically don't have to struggle as much. And besides what you're learning here for the software testing and business analyst, it is a global skill set, just like doctors. If you know how to do that here in the US, you can apply that in South America, in Europe, Far East, and Australia. Around the globe, you can apply those skill sets. And it'll be needed in the market for a long time, because as long as you're developing software, you need somebody to test it. To give you an example, if there are companies who are developing products, let's say there are 3 companies that are developing software and 1 company that is doing testing. For the development, you just need those skill sets. For example, you need Java, .NET, CRM, or ERP. If one company is doing testing, all the work for testing is coming to that company. And the number of jobs that you have for that is quite a lot more than just the developers. Now, if you want to choose testing as a career, how will you go about doing that? You learn the skill set. You'll need to have hands-on practice. You also need to work on projects that simulate actual work experience. You'll also do group exercises. You will do interview preparation, do interview questions and answers, tips on the resume, how to go about doing it. You need job placement assistant. That's an option if you need to exercise that. We help you do that. Also, on the job support, if you need to get support after you start working, you have that as an option that we provide that as well. Now, some of the facts about here. We perform QA tests every day that you may or may not realize. And we are developing that skill set every day. For example, when you go online banking, you're using software testing skills. When you're corresponding to emails, you're using those skills. You go to the Facebook or use any application on your phone, you really are testing software. But you just didn't realize that. And just there's some more structure to that. For example, you go to an online bank, your ID doesn't work. Your password doesn't work. What do? You take action. You call bank, you sort it out, you reset your password, and you get back in. Software testers do just that. If something is not working the way it should, based on the requirements from the users, you record it, you list it, you figure out how to work it, and you work with the developers in fixing it. And that's what software testers do. They find bugs and defects, and they work with the developers to fix it. Now, most lessons or skills that a person needs in this space is analytical thinking, writing communication skills, attention to detail, making good judgment calls, be a team player, and have good communication skills. So if you have those skills, fantastic. You're predefined to be a software tester or a business analyst. Business analysts nowadays, do you have any questions? Okay, anyway, coming back to the skills that are needed. For a good software tester, have a good verbal communication skill, gonna be passionate about the work, and have technical skills, which we'll teach you in the class, and analytical skills, we'll teach you that as well. Have to have good attitude about working with people and be productive. Now, these are the core skills you will need to have to be a good tester. Now, technical skills and analytical skills we can teach you. Generally, most people here on the call have good communication skills because you're able to read the email, correspond to it, communicate back and forth, and be able to receive information to be able to attend the call. So you have that as well. Productivity is a nature. If you're having a good livelihood by the job that you're doing, you are productive. Passionate, because you have a bright future, you would be passionate. Attitude will help you with that too. So what we teach you are this set of skill set that you will need to become a good tester. Okay, now on the other side, the analyst. If you have a person who is a good analyst, you need these skill sets to be a good business analyst. Gathering and preparing business requirements, planning and documenting, analyze models required, take up change request, and perform acceptance testing. We'll talk about this in more detail, what some of these functions are. Okay, now, what is the role of a business analyst? It basically is a go-between person between the customer and the technical team. You basically identify business needs. You basically configure that, define that as a requirement. You gather those requirements and you come up with a solution working with the technical team, and you provide the solution to the customer and communicate and coordinate between them. Nowadays, what's going on, you actually had these two different roles, a business analyst and a QA person. But what's going on in the market, as we have noticed the trends, that as we're sending more and more people out there in the industry with a software testing background and skills, they're asking people to have some business analyst skills as well. Because what's going on in the industry is like trying to combine some of these roles. So this is one of the reasons we have enhanced the course from the last time to this time to include some of the business analyst skills as well. Now there's a lot of overlap between the two. So I didn't think it was going to be a huge challenge to incorporate the BA skill set in this training as well. So that's what we're going to be doing in here. Kind of the essential knowledge areas that you will need to do is a testing process, tools knowledge, business and application understanding, and the agile knowledge. The agile basically is an approach that you take in how you tackle the project. I'll talk a little bit about the agile because a lot of what we do is going to be involving the agile skill set. Okay. And the training approach that we take. Now, the training approach that we take here, we take a 6-phase approach. We just don't only give you a lesson, say, okay, here's a lesson, you should learn how to do this now. We take an approach of 6 phases because I know people learn things differently. First, we give you a lecture in the classroom. Then we give you a hands-on exercise. We give you reading material. We give you videos to watch. We give you quizzes so you can regurgitate your knowledge and understand what you have learned and realize where your weaknesses might be so you can emphasize your learning in that space as well. We also give you interview questions and help you with the answers so you polish your skills, how you can go to an interview with confidence. So I think this 6-phase approach that we have, it surpasses any other training that is offered in the industry, university, college, or any other institute. And with this particular approach, you will understand the material, you will have the confidence to go to the interview, and you will be able to do the job effectively once you get done with class. Okay, now easy entry into the market. Now, most people who finish the training within a month or so, they basically start getting job calls. With a few weeks, within a week or so after they send the resume out, they start getting calls. Then it generally takes about a week or so for market to start picking up on the resume. Some take about a week, some take about 3 weeks to respond back. Once they start getting interviews, the initial interviews are basically a little bit of a challenge because you're scared, but it's okay. Once you surpass that, most people are basically getting offers within 6 weeks to 8 weeks or so. They're getting offers and they're starting at the jobs. And most people who finish up, they're pretty happy with the job skills that they have. Now, some people are concerned that they will need help once they start working. We have that option as well. We provide you support in case you need it during the first 3 months. In case you need it, you can reach out to us and we can help you. We can assign an individual to help you with this questions that you have. Now, a nice thing is there are a lot of jobs which are kind of remote. You're working from home. So that makes it very, very easy. While you have a session going with work, you can also have a session going with one of our support people who can help you with understanding whatever you need to understand and help you get going at the new job. Okay, now, goal for a person in software testing is to find a defect in the software. And there are different types of titles that you will see in the job market. Is analyst, automation tester, automation test engineers. So there's a bunch of different jobs out there that you will see. And let's see if I can show you some. I'll actually show you that later. Yeah. So here are some of the other jobs that are in the market, which are non-IT related. The bank tellers, head tellers, Uber driver, limo drivers. So some of these jobs are basically disappearing. Uber jobs are coming up more because they're replacing some of the other ones. And taxi drivers are kind of disappearing as well. You can see what these jobs offer. When you look for these jobs, you see there are about 337 in Washington, D.C. area. And they pay anywhere from $20,000 to $45,000 a year, which isn't really a whole lot of money to get you going and live on your own with just one job. So the market is tough for them. On the average, the salary is about $13 an hour, which doesn't help you. Where you go on the other side, software testing. and you look at what kind of jobs are out there. I just pulled this up this morning. They're about software testing, automation type of jobs. You can see the automation engineer is about 104,000. Quality assurance tester is 100,000. Penetration testing, which is really in more security related, that's 129,000. Software engineer, 119. Software tester engineer, 100,000. So as you can see, these salaries are pretty decent. And a person with these salaries can enter in the market, make a decent living. Now you also have business analyst, which is starting really it's 86,000 or so. Not only that, when you look for software testing, you see there are about 12,000 openings in the market today. Let's see if I can share that. Okay, I don't know if can you see my screen? Okay, so I looked for business analyst jobs in Washington, DC area. And I said, find these jobs. And I said, estimated salaries. So you can see that 75,000, there are 1,400 jobs in 75,000 plus, 85,000, 95,000, 105, 115,000. So basically the salary range, if you can look at it, is from 75,000 to 115,000 plus. You have these jobs out there. And if you go for software testing in Washington, DC area, there are about 12,000 openings that mention software testing, anywhere from entry level, to high level jobs. Estimated salary, it basically goes from 95,000 to 150,000 plus. So it does pay well in this space. And you can do your own research if you want to. And you can also look at the job descriptions and see what kind of skill set they're looking for. And we're teaching you that in this class. So let's come back to the subject. If you're basically non-IT, the range of salary on the average really is anywhere from 30,000 to 50,000 or so, where the median household income in all over the US is 57,000. However, in Loudon County, it is about 134,000 median household income. You look at it and say, why is such a disparity? Because in this area, you actually have a lot of IT jobs, IT contractors, and they pay a lot more than some of the non-IT positions. And that's one of the reasons you actually have such a high salary in this area. The interesting thing is now, due to COVID, a lot of these jobs have gone remote, and you come in and work, maybe once a week, maybe you don't. A lot of the jobs are remote. You can work from anywhere within the US. That makes it nice. So if you take a look at this one and compare the job of a non-IT person, on the average, it's about 35,000 a year. And for the QA or BA, it's roughly about 95,000 a year. The difference is about $60,000 a year when you make that switch. Now, on the average, when you look at it, the raises that you have in the non-IT side is generally about 3% a year. And they generally stay in this space. Now, with a 3% salary increase, you go from 35,000 to 45,000 in 10 years. That's a long time. However, on the IT side, the salary increases are generally double in 10 years on the average. And people who have been in this field, like myself or Venkat, can tell you that is very true. Generally, salaries go up much higher, and trend has been just that. So if you're starting at 95,000 today, chances are in 10 years, you would be at 190,000. So the difference of salary that if you make a switch now is roughly about 60,000. 10 years later, it's a lot more. It's about $145,000 difference in salary if you make that switch. And 10 years later, that would be this transition you would make. Amazing transition. And people who have made that change, they swear by it that, hey, this was worth every single effort that made, and they couldn't think that this was possible, but it is. And we have helped hundreds of people make that switch. And therefore, in by 10 years, you're making $145,000 more per year than if you were stayed in non-IT. So in 10 years, what do you think the difference would be in salary? Cumulatively, you'll make $1 million, $1,225,000, $1,025,000 difference in salary over the 10 years that you'll make, cumulative difference. Now tell me something, is this like winning a lottery ticket? It is winning a lottery ticket, but it's more of a guarantee than just a shot in the dark. Because winning a lottery is very rare. But this is a proven path, and I've showed you how to win a lottery, guaranteed, by making the switch. The question is, are you ready to make that switch? Would this make a difference in your life? And if so, are you willing to take a step, take the class, and work and do the work that's needed for the class to make that switch in your life? For me, it would be worth it. I would definitely work for it, make a difference for not only me, but my future generations as well. Because it's not just increase in salary, it's a quality of life. And where you can send your kids to school, how well they could be educated, and what kind of future they would have. So question is, to do this, are you willing to study? Now, the study which is required in this class for most people is on the average about 30 minutes a day. If you have 24 hours in the day, can you spare 30 minutes to work towards it? A lot of people can. Just make a commitment to yourself that I'll study. Do you put a pause on your social life for 4 months? You can if you want to, but you're working towards a degree or working towards making a better career. Will you adjust your priorities to make this class a priority in your life? Meaning Saturday and Sunday, the classes come in for 2 hours. Because what you're doing is you're making a commitment to change your life. Let's do it. And the classes worth $2,000. And it's 4 months, and the payments are kind of easy to make. So what's the next steps? How do you go about doing it? Well, first is have a laptop in place, which is at least an i5 processor, 8 gig RAM, 70 gig hard drive available on the space, so we can set up a lab on your laptop and you should be able to use that. Next step is basically sign up for the class, make a first payment of $500 to start the class, and then we have a total of 4 payments. You start with first, and each payment you do in the beginning of the month, and it makes it real simple to make the payments and continue with the class. Classes are Saturday and Sunday, 2 hours each day from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The makeup classes, if you're falling behind or you need additional help, we usually do that on Friday nights, about between 5 or 6 p.m. Duration for the combination of all the modules combined is roughly about 4 months, starting with manual testing, going into automation, combined with the business analyst side as well. It takes roughly about 4 months. And we're starting our first class next Saturday, October 1st. And what we cover in the class basically is software development lifecycle, software testing lifecycle, go into manual testing. And these are some of the modules that we cover in class. Combine that with business analysts as well. We'll infuse the business analyst area a little more in this course. And during that time, we'll also help you with the interview. We'll set up labs so you get hands-on exercise to do. One thing that our market really is why we're better. We research before every class on how the market is changing. An example of this class, be infusing the business analyst material in this class. We are engaged with the ongoing interview process in the market. So when you go for the interview, we usually coach you. Say, how did the interview go? What did they ask you? We help you in coming up with the better answers. And so it'll help you increase your skills. to do better interviews every single time. We give you resume guidance, and we coach you for the interview, and we help you with the resume as well. And once you get a job, we can also provide you support in case you need it for ongoing support in the job. Now, let's talk about the Agile team, because most people who will go into the industry, they'll be working in the Agile environment. Just a heads up what Agile really is. We'll talk extensively about Agile, what it is. It's basically a framework on how work is done. You basically have a product owner. You have a Scrum Master who basically is kind of a team lead who's managing the team. And you have a technical solution lead who we can reference in helping you guide through what the application does and what you need to understand. Backlog is how you actually get the work. The Scrum Master basically coordinates a meeting. They define what the work is, who's going to do what. They meet on daily basis, and they basically take work in sprints, which is really is a 4-week cycle when you're supposed to start the work and finish the work. We'll talk extensively about that, but this is high level what the framework really is. And the team that you would more likely be in is roughly anywhere from 6 to 10 people in the Agile framework. You have one Scrum Master who basically is a team lead. You generally have a business analyst who basically is a communication and coordination between the customer and the technical team. You probably have 2 software testers. You have 3 developers, and you probably have 2 database administrators. So this combination generally would be what the team would be. Some of you have more or less, but roughly, this is what the team really is. And your role really would be between software tester and some of the functions you may take from the BA. And that will be kind of combined in what you really do. And in the class, we'll talk about what software development lifecycle is. This is how all this software is developed. You gather requirements, developers, designers design the product. Implementation is done by people who implement the product. Then you do the testing. And this is majority of where you come in. And then there's operation and maintenance, ongoing cycle. But understanding this process kind of helps you integrate in the team better. And most of the times you'll spend in testing space where you'll be doing planning, analysis, design, execution, and closure. So these are the steps you will follow as a software tester. And we'll go in a lot more detail during the class. Okay. This is just a advisory tips in here. You will never change your life until you change something you do on a daily basis. Secret for your success is found in the daily routine. And this is what I remind people, that it is not difficult to do the class. You just change your daily routine. Infuse taking the class, 1. 2, start working towards it every single day, 30 minutes or so. And if you do not have any IT background or lack the understanding, spend a little more time on it, because you're working towards a future, a better future. And this will get you there. And we are the coaches that will help you make the transition for a better future. It's not impossible. You just get up every morning and you say, okay, I'm going to do something, and you continue to do that. And it becomes easy once you're doing it in a group. Once you have a coach to help you every day, to guide you and teach you the skills you need to land a better job. So at this point, I'll pass it to you, ask you if you have any questions. Everybody's on a mute. What you'll need to do is you'll need to unmute and see if you have any questions I can help you with.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, actually, I have a quick question for you.
Mhm.
So I'm not from the IT background. So
Okay.
like I'm medical field right now. So I was thinking of changing my career. So
Okay.
like once we finish this course, so what will be our title?
What would be your title?
Yes, like software tester, or like what's gonna be like automation tester? What gonna be our work title?
It could be a combination of different things. Depending on your background, for example, you are a medical technician, you're basically a nurse assistant,
Uh,
or
I'm the like surgical and medical assistant.
okay, tell me a little bit more about what you do on a regular basis on your job.
Usually right now I'm working for surgeries. So like I work for the primary doctor's office. Like we have like 3 to 4 surgeries in a day.
Mhm.
So I have the doctor, and then other days I work as a medical assistant too, like the front office and back office too.
Okay, so basically you're dealing with customers in the front
Yes,
office. Okay, so
yes,
you have a customer interface, you're interacting with the customers, you're gathering their requirements and what they need to do, and you're communicating this with the doctor and other medical technicians to line things up on what the person needs, right?
yes, that's true.
Okay, so this is one thing that you're doing. Okay, second thing you're doing, you're supporting the medical and surgical space on, you have list of requirements on what these tools are needed for surgery, and you line them up and you make sure that they're done properly. Either you do it or somebody else does it. So basically what you're doing is you're gathering the requirements on what's needed and you're putting it out there to make sure that the technical team, the surgeons and all, are able to do what they need to do with the requirements and analysis you have done. So you are doing the business analyst type of work in this role already. You're gathering requirements and you're testing to make sure that the things are done properly. And you're also getting a feedback from the customers as well as the doctors to make sure that things that were done to support their surgery or whatever work they need to do is done properly. If something wasn't done properly, you would hear about that, saying that, hey, particular tool was missing and whatnot. On top of that, you also have attention to detail. You can definitely say that you were business analyst, quality assurance person. Right? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get you the last part. You said like, but
You would
there
be,
should be a titles, right? When you apply for the job in the resume. So
Mhm.
after you finish the work, like so what's gonna be like my confusion is what gonna be my title for this work?
you can say quality assurance and business analyst
Oh, both.
in technical field,
Oh,
in
okay.
the what do you call medical field, right?
Yes, medical field.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay.
that would be an ideal title for you, that you
Okay.
can market yourself as that, and you
Mhm.
can make a transition from the medical to IT using the same skill set.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I'll teach you how to bridge that gap and how to communicate what
Oh.
you do.
So like, how are you guys gonna help for the resume? So since I told you like I'm not from the like IT background and I did my bachelor's in back home, not even over here, but
Mhm.
I did work in banking for like 5 years.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be hard for me to get to land in the job
Okay.
from this course.
Okay. So with the banking is easy as well. So if you have done work in banking field for 5 years, you understand the banking business, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you can talk about the banking side, whether it's the checking account, banking account, checking account, business account, loans, or any kind of facility that things offer. And what does a business do to attract customers, bring them in, find out what their requirements are, and actually provide them as a service. So you're doing some of that business analyst work in that space as well. So you'll go in the market with experience of banking, as well as the medical technical field, and you market yourself as somebody who understands the business and you understand the tool sets and how to go about doing some of these things. Apply the agile principle to all of this, all the work that you have done. If you can talk about the agile, you can talk about the banking business, and you can talk about the medical technical field and what you did and how it fits into the agile framework and a business analyst framework. You market yourself as just that, as a quality assurance business analyst person who has worked in the banking field and you've also worked in medical field. And now you're moving towards the IT using the same framework. And the projects that you work on in the classroom, you'll talk about those as your IT projects and what you did. Does it make sense?
Yes. Thank you so much for all the answers.
Hey, not a problem at all. Anybody else? Anybody else who has questions? Okay. Well, it sounds
Hello.
great.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Kareem.
Hey, Kareem.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you were able to join
Yes,
the
yes.
class.
All right, sorry for that. And just thank you for your nice presentation. So I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have time for that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So number one, like you show me this the entry level job. What does it exactly mean? Like there is no previous experience or prior experience,